I first noticed her on the 17th day after humanity's arrival on Lyrian 9. Not because she was loud, not because she demanded attention, but because she was still. The others, humans and aliens alike, moved constantly inside the embassy dome. Diplomats argued in clipped tones. Engineers adjusted gravity calibrators. Soldiers watched everything with hands near their weapons. But she stood near the transparent arc wall, gazing out at the violet oceans of Lyrian, 9 as if the chaos behind her didn't exist. She was alien. Undeniably so. Her skin shimmered like pearl under starlight, faintly iridescent, changing hue with her breath. Her eyes, too large, too reflective, held layered colors I couldn't name. Thin silver markings traced her temples and disappeared beneath a flowing robe woven from something that looked like liquid glass. And somehow she looked lonely. I told myself I was just observing, that this was my job. As a xenolinguistics analyst, watching alien behavior was literally what I was trained to do. Still, I kept finding excuses to stand near her, pretending to review data pads while stealing glances. She never looked back. Until she did. "You have been measuring me with your eyes for several cycles," she said softly, without turning around. My heart nearly stopped. What?" I stammered. She turned then, and her gaze locked onto mine with an intensity that made the air feel heavier. "You are curious," she continued, "but your curiosity carries hesitation, fear, and something else." I swallowed. "I'm sorry. I didn't mean to stare." Her lips curved, not quite a smile, but close. "Among my people, prolonged observation is a sign of respect. Or interest." My face burned. I think it was the first one. "Liar," she said gently. That single word, spoken without accusation, left me completely speechless. Her name, I later learned, was Osharan. She belonged to the Volari, one of the oldest species in this quadrant of the galaxy. Unlike humanity, the Volari had never waged interstellar war. They believed conflict left scars not just on planets, but on time itself. That philosophy made them cautious, especially now, with humans newly arrived and already feared. Osharan was not a diplomat. She was something rarer. A memory listener. Her role was to sense emotional truth beneath spoken words. To feel the echoes of intention. It was why the Volari had sent her to observe humanity before deciding whether we were worth trusting. And for reasons I couldn't understand, she chose to spend her observation hours with me. We spoke often after that first encounter. Sometimes about trivial things, the strange taste of Earth coffee, the way Lyrian's twin moons affected tides. Other times, our conversations drifted into deeper waters. "You watch as though you expect to be discovered," she said once. "As though being seen frightens you." "On Earth," I replied, "being noticed can be dangerous." She considered that. "On Velar, being unseen is the greater danger." There was sadness behind her words, a depth that made me wonder what she carried inside her memory. The more time we spent together, the more I noticed subtle changes. The way her glow dimmed when human generals argued about defensive fleets. The way her posture stiffened whenever Earth representatives spoke of necessary force. One evening, alarms echoed through the dome. A rogue human faction, unofficial but heavily armed, had launched a weapons test near Volari space. No casualties, no damage, but intent mattered more than outcome. The Volari Council convened immediately. Their verdict would decide humanity's future beyond Earth. Osharan found me later that cycle, her expression unreadable. "They will ask me what I felt," she said. "What truth your species carries beneath its words." "And what did you feel?" I asked quietly. She stepped closer than ever before. conflict.
Yes. Fear. Certainly.
But also longing, regret, and a deep exhaustion. I exhaled. That sounds about right. Her eyes softened. You do not wish to conquer. You wish to belong. Before I could respond, the call came. She was summoned to deliver her assessment. The waiting was unbearable. Hours passed, then cycles. Rumors spread, some hopeful, others grim. I watched ships power up beyond the dome, uncertain whether they were preparing for alliance or exile. Finally, Asherin returned. Her glow was faint, her steps slow.
They have decided, she said.
I stood, and she hesitated, then spoke words that felt like both a sentence and a blessing. They will not judge humanity by its weapons. They will judge it by its capacity to change. Relief surged through me, but it didn't last. They have given humanity one chance, she continued. A trial of trust. And I am the measure. I frowned. What does that mean? It means, she said softly, that I must remain among your people. Not as an observer, but as a bond. The implication hit me slowly. You'll be living here? I asked. Yes. With us? With you, she corrected. My breath caught. Why me? Asherin met my eyes, her voice barely above a whisper. Because you saw me before you understood me, and you did not turn away. In Valari culture, she explained, choosing a bond was irreversible. A memory listener who tied herself to another species risked losing her place among her own forever. Do you regret it? I asked. She studied me for a long moment. I fear it, she admitted, but regret no. The days that followed changed everything. Her presence altered negotiations. Human commanders moderated their language. Politicians hesitated before making threats. It was as if knowing they were being felt, not just heard, forced them to confront their own intentions. As for me, my life became something I never imagined. Asherin experienced the world intensely. Sunlight overwhelmed her senses. Music affected her emotionally. Human laughter confused her at first, until she learned to join in. One night, as we stood beneath the artificial stars of the dome, she spoke words that would stay with me forever. When you watched me that first day, she said, I felt something rare. What was that? I asked. Being chosen, she replied. Not for duty, not for strategy, but simply because you noticed. I didn't know what to say, so I didn't speak. I just reached out, slowly, carefully, and she did not pull away. Ending. Years later, historians would write that peace between humanity and the Valari began with treaties, councils, and shared technology. They were wrong. It began with a single moment of quiet observation, with one alien woman standing by a window and one human brave enough to keep watching, not with hunger or fear, but with genuine wonder. Asherin never returned to Velar, and humanity never forgot what it felt like to be truly seen. When future generations asked how the stars became our home, I would tell them this. The universe did not open its doors to us because we were strong. It opened them because someone listened and someone was willing to be changed. And that, in the end, changed everything. Milky Way.